Hey, this is Empire here with Volume 40 of Nintendo Switch Hidden Gems. Real quick, if you enjoy the content or you're finding games you want to buy for your collection based on my videos, if you could please support the channel by liking and subscribing, it's really appreciated. Alright, now on to our 5 games. 5 really fun games. So the first one I got today is Ty of the Tasmanian Tiger, the Bush Rescue Bundle. And this was done for the celebration of the 20-year anniversary of Ty 2. So you got Ty 1, Ty 2 in HD, and Ty 4 Bush Rescue Returns. So really fun series. It started back in the GameCube, PS2, original Xbox era. It's known for like its unique Australian theme, the lovable protagonist Ty, and a lot of funny dialogue. So Ty 1 and Ty 2 are 3D platformers. It's infamous for the boomerangs in the game. Lots of different boomerangs and use it for combat and that. And there's platforming, there's exploring, there's puzzle solving, there's mini games to play, and tons of collectibles. Then you've got Ty 4. This was originally released in 2013 on PC and comes to the first time on the Switch. And basically it takes all those fun elements and puts it in a 2D format. So a really great collection of games. Not a ton of copies out there, so if you're interested, grab a copy sooner than later. So let's check out the trailer for Tasmanian Tiger Bush Rescue Bundle. All right, our next title is called Buddy Simulator 1984. And this is a really unique and fascinating experience. Really recommend you check this out. So you've got a computer from back in the day. You've got the old CRT TV. It'd be back from the era of like the Commodore 64. Except this computer has an AI built into it. It's obviously something that didn't exist back in that time. So it begins by introducing itself to you, asks a lot of questions. You play some simple games with it like Hangman and that. And then it creates this custom RPG for you to play. And it's a real game that you play. It's an 8-bit RPG where you've got exploration, you've got combat, turn-based combat. And then, but things start to get weird. It's got a really strange horror theme to it, and things just aren't feeling right. And I'll leave it at that for you to experience on your own. It's a really interesting experience. There's lots of surprises in the game, and it depends on your interactions with the AI, how it goes. There's 4 different possible endings in the game, so it's got good replay value. But it's got fantastic atmosphere, really cool 80s aesthetic to it, and the story and the character of the AI are really interesting. So let's check out the trailer for Buddy Simulator 1984.
Are you feeling lonely? Do you have a hard time finding someone with whom you could share all your passions and with whom you could just play games? We've got a solution for you. Anacom Software Incorporated presents Buddy Simulator 1984, the game-changing, critically acclaimed software which allows you to experience hanging out with your best buddy. Soon available on a super popular console, Nintendo Switch. Name him. Talk to him. Play with him. Let him know you better. Your artificial friend will offer to play different games and entertain you based on your character and your needs. Let him take you on a journey that you will never forget. We promise you will not. Game experience may vary.
Our next title is probably my favorite of the bunch, and it's called Fading Afternoon. This is a really fascinating game that combines side-scrolling beat 'em up with life simulation. So it takes place in Osaka, Japan, and you play as a middle-aged Yakuza member who's just been recently released from prison. But he also has a terminal illness, and he's in his final days. So the goal of the game is to either help your crime family return to its former glory or take a different path in life. So the combat in the game is a lot of fun. It's got various different martial art disciplines in it, like judo or karate and that. And you've got several different weapons and attacks, so it gives you tons of different strategies on how to take out the multiple enemies in the game. The life simulation part takes place where when you're not engaged in combat, you can engage in different activities around the city, from like gambling and drinking, going to clubs. There's lots of relationships that you can make in that. And the hook is that being that you've got a terminal illness, it acts as a timeline for you. And depending on the activities that you engage in and the life direction that you take, determines how long you're going to live. So it's a really interesting concept, and it works really well. Really lets you connect with your character. It's really cool pixel art style. It's a 2D pixel art style. Nice details. It's colorful. It's got a city that feels really alive. And being that there's different endings that you can get in the game based on your actions that you take, it's got a lot of replayability. So let's check out the trailer for Fading Afternoon. Alright, next game is Langriser 1 and 2. These are HD remasters of the strategy RPGs from the 16-bit era. I don't think there's a manual on this. No, just some dumb piece of paper. You can switch between the original and the remasters at any point in the game. I always love when that's kind of the standard thing to do now with remasters. But it's got enhanced graphics, soundtrack, and there's some gameplay improvements as well. So in the first title, you play as a son who wants to avenge his father's death and uses the legendary Langriser sword to do that. The second game, which many prefer, takes place many years later, and it's a story of a swordsman who you're in a conflict with another empire as well as some other factions, and everyone's fighting for control of Langriser and this cursed sword called Al-Hazard. And what makes the game a little bit better is that you get to make decisions during the game to help determine the storyline and what side you're going to fight on. So it has branching storylines and different endings to it. But it's traditional grid turn-based combat where you can command squads and you can hire mercenaries to fight with you. It's got a solid progression system. It's a really great series. So let's check out the trailer for Langriser 1 and 2.
これであの世に行っても寂しくあるまい。お願い、私も戦わせて。
Alright, the last game is a surprise that I even wanted to play it, and that's Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. I do not like the Power Rangers. I find them annoying a lot of the times, but this game caught my attention because of the fun gameplay it has. So this game, though, it really didn't make much of a splash at all. There aren't even many reviews for it, and there aren't a lot of copies out there either. I think I've seen more copies for the collector's edition than I did the standard release. That's a shame, though, because this really is a game worth checking out, especially if you're into 2D side-scrolling beat 'em ups. It's a decent story. It's got a lot of the cheesy Power Ranger humor, but it works decent enough. But the combat is really where it's at in this game. So there's a lot of movement in the game. You can dash, double jump. There's grabs you can do, and your various Power Rangers attacks. Combos in the game are really easy to pull off, and it's really cool because the flow doesn't get slowed down at all because you can punch forwards or backwards with uninterrupted combos. The dodge is really critical in it, and you're going to use that a lot, especially against projectiles and in boss battles. The boss battles are a lot of fun. There's lots of bosses, and they have their own unique attacks. You got to learn their patterns. And then they add in, and there's power-ups in the game too, of course, like you get a period of invincibility or increase your movement speed. And then they add in 3D stages into the game. And these are a lot of fun. There's like motorcycle chase segments there, and then there's, I forget what the Power Ranger called. They all unite, and then they make this giant mech. But you get to play that, and you're firing guns and missiles, and there's hazards and enemy gunfire. They're really cool stages. I really enjoyed those. And then there's a hangout that you go to when you're not in your missions, and you can play retro games there. But there's 15 stages. You can play up to 4 players, multiplayer. It's a really fun title. You really ought to check it out. So here's a trailer for Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. Alright, so that's it for Volume 40 of Nintendo Switch Hidden Gems. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed the game selection. Solid collection of games, if I don't mind saying so myself. So, if you enjoy the content, again, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot. I really appreciate it. So until the next one, take care, may you be blessed, and I am out of here. See you on the next one.